Everybody, and welcome back. Well, hang on, my edges, gee. Hopefully you enjoyed last week's video. I'm actually recording this and I haven't posted last week's yet. I'm going to post it in 2 days. But anyway, something different, and over the years I've had a lot of comments. People said that they enjoyed the problem solving and the fabrication, so that's what you got there, and really works well. I would say we're completely out of sync here, so I've ridden it a lot. All those times I've said to you in the last couple of videos that the greaves was working really well, it's because I did that a few weeks ago. It was just one of those things where I thought I should be able to come up with something, and I think I did it in a day. So I came out and I spent a day in the workshop, did that. So yeah, it made a big difference. And last week, was it last week? Yes, last week I was at a trial. That's why I posted early. And not only did the greaves work well for me, but my friend Chris Arnold, who some of you may remember, has been US National Vintage Champion. He rode it and he went round and was doing all the great big stuff on it. He really liked it, so it obviously works well. Okay, so this week we are back to the Highboy special, our little UK Sino special. So this arrived. I'm going to open it in a minute. So our problem at the moment has been that kickstart. Well, you saw how the knuckle part really bent. I was rummaging around and I found another knuckle, a really good quality one. I don't know why I've got the knuckle. I must have needed the lever for something. But anyway, when I put this on, I found that the flat was really badly done. And that had been the major problem. It was only touching on this corner, so when the kickstart was round there, it was pulling really over, and that's what had bent this. So I thought I'll build it up with some weld and reform it, and I'd done that and it touches better, but I noticed that all that pulling had not only bent that thing, it's made this go out of round. So I'm glad I ordered a new one. So this new one is, I think, a better quality one. I'm not sure if it's the same place I've been ordering the last couple from, because don't forget, just for the BSAs, the last couple of BSAs, what I've done is I've cut these off here, so the spline part is gone, and then I've got a BSA kickstart and cut, if you like, this part off that, and then welded this onto the cotter pin part at the bottom, and they're holding up beautifully. And obviously those engines are a bit harder to kick over. So no, it's not actually that much longer. It's a different shape completely. Oh, this even comes with a little plug in the end of it. Now it feels a lot heftier than that. The important thing is how well this has been made to touch onto the flats. Oh yes. You can't see it, but virtually the whole of the flat on the lever is touching the flat on the knuckle. Wow, and that's a big... whoa. Crikey, that is it. That would have been nice on the B44. I might get another one of these. That feels really good. I think it's going to be a bit overkill for this engine, but we'll get that fitted. Alright, so I haven't even got it on yet, and I've come up with the first problem. So I haven't even got it on yet, and I've come up with the first problem. Well, I pushed it on and it feels very nice, but I couldn't get the bolt through, the pinch bolt. And the reason is, see where the recess is for the pinch bolt there? It's right on the outer end here. It's right on the inner end. So, what I'm going to do is put that on, right? It's an 8mm bolt. For the moment, to try this out, I'm going to put a 6mm bolt through so I can crimp it up. And then if it's good, I'll get my final position and I'll run, well actually a 5/16 drill through there just to take off a little touch of the spline so the 8mm bolt will go in, because a 6 will go through. So I can put that on, excuse my head, tighten that up, everything, even the clip is bigger and stronger. This is a much better kickstart. So let me get that tightened up and then we'll see what happens. Alright, that was the 7/16 bolt I put in. Actually, it seems to have tightened it up, really clamped it up. So, who knows what we'll need to do. Alright, let's pedal on. The choke on. Now this should swing clear of the footrest. Oh, it still did it. So, it's not that. Oh, it just catches. Isn't that annoying? Oh no, that doesn't affect. Oh, what is this? God, that's starting to move. I don't believe this. I'm determined not to put the electric starter on it, because I'll have to find somewhere to put a battery and rig up a charging circuit and everything like that. Don't tell me that's distorted that already. Yeah, the third. Well, that might be that actually being loose on the splines. Should have put a BSA in it, Michael. Alright, let me look at this a bit more. Well, I've just been kicking this over. I kicked it, I took it over top dead centre and it just fired beautifully 3 times, and then the 4th time it kicked back, and then the 5th time it kicked back. So, but look at this. That clip is bent. And you can see where it was digging in that. And this thing now is just the same as the other one. It's not bent, but I did a little bit of drilling and I've got the whatever it is, 12mm bolt in, 8mm bolt in there now, which seems to tighten that up a bit. But I don't understand why that's happening. Hang on. Oh, pardon me. Trying to find the right screwdriver. There we go. That should go in there. Look at that. How it's bent that. And then that's dug in there around there. That still seems to be straight. I don't know. Got to think about this some more, people. Look at that. That has immediately done the same thing, look. See if it's bent out here? That's weird. I've got 2 BSAs with these on and 1 Triumph, and they work perfectly. They haven't bent, they haven't deformed, they haven't done anything. Well, wouldn't this be a bugger? This is the one thing that causes a problem. We can't start the damn thing. Alright. Alright, it's another day. Been giving this a lot of thought. So, what can you see? Saw how that deformed over there. That one's even worse, the first one. There's where I started building it with weld. So I thought, well, it must be soft metal. Both of these, I've been pounding on them with a 2-pound mash hammer. Is it 2 pound or whatever? Anyway, you know, big mash hammer. And neither of them, it hasn't made a heap of the difference. This is hard stuff. I even put this one in the press and I couldn't quite get hold of it, but it didn't seem to do much. So I have to say it's got me beat. I have no understanding of why. I mean, that second one, the really chunky one, I think I maybe used it 6-7 times, certainly under 10 times, and that happened to it. So I don't know what it is, but contrary to what I said a few minutes ago, I'm going to put the electric start back on. It'll fit on, I think, with the silencer there. No problem. Hang on, I might have to move you, open you up. No, I think I could probably fit a little battery in here. The extra bit of electrics can go under the seat. Maybe fit them on the back of the mudguard. And I'm thinking what I'll do is, rather than lots of switches, I'm just going to have a little push switch to start it, and I'm going to put that down here so it doesn't actually accidentally get pressed on the handlebar. I can just reach under and go bzzz, start it, and that's fine. And then that way I have all the wiring down here. So what I've done is I've got, got the box out, got the electric starter back out. And I've just been down to my 4-wheeler. I have a quad thing that I got in the woods when I'm doing the sections and that, and pop the battery off that, because it was the only 12-volt battery I had to hand, other than taking one off one of the cars. And actually that would probably be too much, wouldn't it? So anyway, this 12-volt one should be right, because it's come off a 250 4-stroke. Actually, is it a Honda? No, I think it's a Suzuki. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's a Suzuki, just a little Suzuki. Anyway, so let me get this off so I can put, excuse me again, that connector wheel or gear back in there so that it'll drive. Alright, so let me take this cover off. Alright, I'll tell you something that was going to happen that now isn't going to happen. I mentioned I'd had an idea about getting some extra flywheel weight in this. Oh, hang on. Engine oil's draining out. Hang about, people. Just grab something, doesn't. Just stop that drip. All right. So, Oh, this is two different sizes. I don't remember which way it came out. Oh, it's got a... can only go in one way, can't it? Because it's got a... that's not... okay, that's the way. Alright, so what I was thinking, to get a little bit of extra flywheel weight, it suddenly struck me, you know, this thing is on a one of those roller clutches, so that when it's going one way it's connected, and when it's not it's just freewheeling. Well, it suddenly struck me, if I wasn't going to use the electric starter, I could just weld that, put a few blobs of weld to the clutch part so that it didn't spin freely. Then it would spin with the flywheel and we'd have the weight of this large toothed gear here as a flywheel weight, which would have worked fine, would have been nice, simple. And actually, I got these flywheels for like $40, the clutch part's $30 odd, so anyway, as I say, this has a nice little caged needle bearing there. It has a needle bearing in the outer cover, so that goes in there. Nothing's got trapped. So, it's a good job I didn't cut this off, isn't it? Starter motor. Should I bolt the starter? Can I get the starter motor in there? Take that plug out. God, I made this a good fit. Can you tell it's a Saturday? There it goes. Ooh. Oh, now I made that a good fit, didn't I? Cable's getting in there. You do like to see me struggle, don't you? Hang on, is there another sprocket? There's got to be another. Yeah, I'm going to say there's got to be another sprocket there. Eine kleine bigger sprocket. Come on, don't mess me about. Let me bolt that down and get this on. Alright, so finally I know what's happening. I've got the start the motor on, and I even thought on enough to put an earth on the mounting bolt. This pin goes in there, and it's actually got a little locking pin on it, and then this goes in there, yes, like that. That back one engages with these gears down here, and this one engages with the must engage more than that, surely. I would have thought, hang on. There's a little washer here because it's pressing up against the alloy, little sort of thrust washer. That's going to go on there like that. Yeah, definitely has to go in further than that because this won't go on. So I've got to, it obviously isn't meshing with that there. Come on. I'm going to have to put a kickstart on to move the engine. Bugger! Ah! There it goes. We put that on there like thusly. There's a place for that shaft to go. That O-ring got trapped. Did I say it was a good job I didn't cut that off? Did I say we just had a couple of days away? We did. We went to a place called Stoddartsville in Pennsylvania, a couple of hours away. And it's a sad story. Stoddartsville is down a little side road. There's only about 12 houses, something like that. And apparently, when was it? 1812, 1815, did it say on the plaque? Pennsylvania and New York State have a system of canals like the UK does. So this thing is in what's the Lehigh Valley. And they were going to build a branch of the canal up the Lehigh Valley. So this fella, whose name I forget, bought all this land just there, built some houses. It's actually sort of in the river valley. Built a sawmill, built a grist mill, prepared all sorts of infrastructure for the coming of the Lehigh Valley Canal, and it never reached Stoddartsville. They stopped before they got there. So that poor fella became bankrupt, and Stoddartsville never grew into anything. Alright, so here we have our positive, and we're just going to touch to get our negative. You know, I don't know much about starter motors either. It's strange. There are certain things that I know very little about because, you know, I've always worked on vintage bikes and I need something for that to stand on. Hang on. Alright. Got the positive connected to the positive on the battery. That's going to ground. Petrol on, choke on. Be on. I know it's in neutral because I wheeled it up here. To be on the safe side, I'm going to pull the clutch in. Hope this doesn't blow me up. Wow. Too much power coming out of that, I think. The end of that was getting red hot, but why didn't it turn the engine over? Well, it did, but I mean, why didn't it just spin it? There is a solenoid in the wiring diagram, but surely the solenoid is just to switch the little bit of power coming through the wiring harness to a direct. Oh, maybe that just isn't heavy enough duty. That's probably it, isn't it? It's not a particularly heavy positive, but it is heavier than that. I've got to get some thicker cable. Okay. Told you I know nothing about these things. All far too modern for me. Starter motors, disc brakes. Hang on. Right, so I just had some lunch, which always helps, and went online and I found out that this should be, or I recommend it's about 8 gauge. And this is 14. So I also checked, and I don't know if I mentioned, I keep saying that a lot, I'm not, my memory's going to shit, really is. Anyway, you know, parts for these are cheap. So I ordered a voltage regulator rectifier and a solenoid, because it just struck me if I need that much power going through this, then I probably have trouble finding just a plain push button switch that was heavily enough rated and small. So this way I think I'll mount them there. Well, you can't see that, can you? Yes, you can, just about. I'll mount them, I think, up on the mudguard, and as I say, I'll put a switch just under there so it's out the way, and then I'll just have a little press button switch like a starter. See, I could have used a kill switch, but I don't want another switch on the handlebar in case I accidentally press the wrong one. You know, it's running and I go to press the kill switch and it's the starter switch. So anyway, it'll be nice and safe and out of the way there. So I did think, you know, that this is only a pretty short try, so I've actually had it running with this. That bloody footrest. Come on, you just started. Clank when it stops. I wonder if it's that starter, just the one-way clutch thing taking up. So it should be warm now. That was a clank. I'm not happy. was that. I heard it click up here. That was that gearing. Yeah, that's just the start. Alright, so what we're going to have to do is I forgot to look for batteries. I've got to find a battery, I think, small enough to go in there. What I'd like to get is one of those, what is it, the gel type or whatever. So, you know, it's spill resistant. I know the ordinary ones are, but I want a sealed one anyway, because it's a trials bike. You drop these things, or at least I do. So I'm hoping to get a small enough battery to fit in there, and I'll make a bracket that's mounted off these engine mounting bolts. And then, as I say, I'll fit the electrics up there. So, got to wait for those bits to arrive. So that'll do me for the day. It's a nice day. I'm going to go out and ride. So I'll see you when I see you. Right, well, some time has elapsed since we last spoke. Pardon me. And dangerous though it is, I've been thinking, you may have noticed over the years that when I get annoyed, I tend to sort of get ahead of myself. So with the Kickstart, I got so annoyed that I said, oh bugger it, I'm going to put the electric start on. And then I said, oh bugger it, I'll just buy the bits for it. So I went out and bought, as I mentioned, that's the solenoid. And that is the rectifier voltage regulator. But then while I was waiting for these to come, and I was thinking about it and I thought, you know, come on Michael, this thing didn't used to kick back. And I looked at a couple of the videos where I'd started it before and it didn't. So I thought, have I done, you know, has the CDI box just developed a fault? When I was stuffing it full of epoxy, because it wasn't the pouring type epoxy, I had to poke it in, did I do something? Maybe I should just, these bits are cheap, maybe I should just try a new CDI box. So I ordered a new CDI box, which, as you can never tell when you're looking at pictures, is actually bigger than the other ones. The same connectors, it's the same 6-pin thing. It looks identical, except it turns out it's a bit bigger. So I'll have to think up a new mount for it. But while I was online ordering that, I thought, let me just put into Google 6-pin CDI connectors. And look what I found. Actually, I bought 2 of them just to be on the safe side. So I now have the proper plugs to fit in there. They're converters to go to a different kind. So what I'm going to do is just chop these off, these ends off, and put my bolt type connectors on so they'll connect in with the wiring harness. And then I've got the proper things to go on there. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to pop this on, see if it doesn't kick back, and if it doesn't kick back, I'm going to take the starter motor back off because I don't want that extra 5 or 6 pounds on the engine. Alright, so let's get on with that. Almost forgot, I have an unboxing video. Now I normally don't do these, but this one is rather special. So this is the box that came. Look how big my hand is, see how big the box is? Now, I've had some small parts come in boxes I thought were excessive, but I couldn't believe when I saw this box and saw who it was from that that's what it was for. I mean, they've sent it by the postal service, and when you're in the post office here, there's a rack with all different sized padded envelopes. Huh? I don't know. Alright, let's do some work. Alright, so I decided to repair this kickstart. Now it just so happens that that hole is 1/2 inch. I presume it's, hang on, we'll measure it. .78, which is 1/2 inch is 12.7, right? So what I did was I put the big number 12 cup, hang on, I'll even show you if it's still on the torch, on the TIG torch. Oh, come on. Why does everything get hung up when you're trying to move it? So that's a number 12, and you can see you can get a huge stick out with it. So that means I was able to poke it right down inside here on this side and weld it all up where it had like that. Then I got it in the mill and I ran a 1/2 inch end mill through it. And then I welded onto here, so I not only, hang on, I'm trying to move this around so you can see. I not only welded the face up, but I welded this, it is welded, believe me, out here so that it's longer. So now, that in there, put it in the right way, Mike. When it goes to the stop, so it virtually touches the whole way, right? So let me put the little, actually I lost the ball, well I knew where a ball was, I lost the spring in that, so I ordered a couple. Then I thought, oh, I should phone Mike, so I phoned Mike, and yeah, sure enough, over the years he's taken some out of old Kickstarts, so I was going to get one Friday, this is Wednesday. So then I have suicidal mice here. I used to keep finding 3 or 4 dead mice in the bottom of my trash bin, my rubbish bin, and then I had a bucket stood and I found 2 dead mice in the bottom of that. I don't know how they get in. Well, I just went out and I have this like big gallon, no, it's a 5-gallon square bucket, which was virtually full of water, and there's 2 mice floating in the top of it. How do they climb up the side of a plastic bucket and then jump in? Anyway, that's all beside the point. The thing is, my hands got a bit smelly, so I just went to get my hand cleaner, and what's there in the middle of a big washer so they didn't roll away? The spring and the ball for this. So let me put it together. So that's on there. Now, as well as doing that, I made sure these surfaces were flat, and I made up a new piece there, so it's a tight fit. This actually is no good anymore, it's lost its springiness, this is the one. But, oh, has it lost its springiness? Anyway, it's now a nice tight fit in there. Where's that thing I've just been pushing the ball down with? I was trying to take all the wobble out. Okay. See, no wobble in that at all now. That's a good one. Yeah, that's just fallen off. So I've got to get a new E-clip, and I've got a good kickstart. Alright then, I've got all my connectors put on. I had to put a couple of male ones on this end. And there's my connectors here with female ones. And actually now I've got the right connectors. That first CDI unit came, it had these little things on which do fit on there now. Alright, so there's the original one. There's the new one. As I say in the photograph, of course, you couldn't tell one if they'd been next to each other, but anyway, there was just that there. I thought, okay, that's it, look, exactly the same things with the rubber what's it on, black. So now, of course, that is too big, too wide to go in there, like that. So I think what I'm going to do is make a thingy so that it goes up in there, like that, see, and then the tank will go on that. Now what I need to know from you people who know about these things is if I sort of put some sticky foam on that so that it's a good tight fit in there and make, oh, I can maybe make a strap. There's a, come out there, there's a hole on this other side where I had that thing bolted on. I can drill a hole this side and make a hook round strap, a rubber strap that will go around to hold this in if this is nice and firmly held in some foam. But will it overheat? So we're only going to mess around with this stuff temporarily today to see that everything works. Oh, and I'll mention something or something. So if you could let me know whether it would be safe sort of packed up in foam in there. When I say foam, I don't mean, you know, like packing foam. I have some spongy rubber that is sticky sided, so I can stick it onto that and then make it a nice, so it doesn't wobble in there, and then all it needs is a rubber strap to stop it coming out. So will that be all right, or do I need to have this so that it's got air around it to keep it cool? In which case I don't know what I'm going to do. I suppose I could make a bigger version of that thing I had because this one went on like that. Actually, I think it went up to the top. That one went on that way. See, that one fits up inside the tank. This one doesn't. This one doesn't. Not sideways on, it will that way. So if I can put that in there. Oh, come on. There is just enough space to fit that in. So I say what we'll do is we'll just stuff it up in there with some foam so it doesn't wobble around once I've got it connected. Now the other thing I was going to say is there are two earths that come out of this which are actually green, and I've got, where is it? This one which comes up out of the alternator slash generator slash CDI wiring loop. Hang on. Alright, so coming out of that, on one of those earths, one earth goes to the coil. The other one I had going to this, down into the alternator thing, and I also ran a black wire up which was connected to the engine. But I was just thinking, if this is actually an earth, so we'll see if there's connection through to, no, you see that doesn't actually go to the engine. Damn. Well, if that doesn't go to the engine, oh, I think I'm going to have to look at a wiring diagram again. I'll have to make this some sort of double connector so that that's wired into it as well, which is the way I did have it. That's strange, I would have thought that would have. definitely. Okay, let me rig up an extra wire. No, I tell you what, before I do that, let's connect it up and I'll just kick it over and see if I get a spark. If I do, then everything's alright. So let me get it wired up, or connected up I should say. Well, we've gone from bad to worse. I've got this wired up exactly the same as the other one and I'm not getting any spark. I've doubled up on the earth, you can see there. Ooh. Let me investigate more. This is with the old CDI fitted. I can't get round because the camera's in the way. So, by not having that earth connected in, have I damaged that new CDI box? This is why I hate electronics, particularly sealed units. Alright. Suppose I could put the tank on and see what's happening now. Right, sorry about the road noise, but I've got the door open for engine fumes. I have just started this 4 times. No kickback. Oh dear me. Oh, that's just too much. Oh, didn't that sound horrible? Just kick back again. Well, if I say things are annoying me, my God, they're really pissing me off now. Alright, I obviously don't know what's going on. I'm going to have a word with Mike, see if he's got a spare CDI of this type. Try it out. But for this week, that's enough. So, although you can't see me, I don't, well, can you? Look, I'm grimacing. Yeah, I've got other things to do. So, we're going to call that it for this week. And I'll see if I can find another one of the right CDIs without having to buy one. So, until next week, stay safe and enjoy yourselves.